All right, we'll come downstairs now for some more questions. Go ahead, Lewis.
Louis Frank, ESPN The Magazine. Jimmie, are you surprised at how much ground the Roush Fenway made up on you guys? And Chad, you want to speculate where they made up the ground on you in the off season?
I saw him coming, but I really saw the 17 coming at the end of last year. The 99's been strong and good, but Matt, won at Homestead, and Matt and I had some great races at the end. So I'm not surprised, but I just assumed the 17 would be, rocking out of the gate. And they've had some bad races and some bad luck, but Carl does a great job. I think Bob is a very sharp guy, and I think the relationship that those two have together is a very strong one. And those guys have got some experience under their belts and are doing a really, really good job. And I'm happy that we're closing that gap. And last week I chased him at the end of the race, and he looked like he wasn't pushing as hard as I was to run. So I know we've got a little bit more to make up, but we closed the gap on the mile-and-a-half stuff quite a bit, and excited about the races to come here in the near future.
Yeah, it's based on what we've seen here in the course of the last few weeks. I think that where we've made our ground up as a team, at the 48 team, isn't necessarily on where to find the speed in the car, but more so what not to do to the race car. It's a new book. It's a new thing that we're trying to learn, and you have a playbook, and anytime that you can take and cross off something off that list that says, okay, that's not going to work, well, then that's an area that you don't go to. That saves you time in practice. That saves you from mistakes during a race and saves you a lot of things. And I think that's what we're learning at this point.
This is a question for Jimmie and Chad. During the race, could you talk a little bit about how you felt your car was? And a lot of times when people see fuel mileage win, they think somebody pulled one out of the hat. But actually, aside from maybe the pit call, you guys seem to have a car that was pretty strong and comparable to everybody else who was leading.
Yeah, I think there was one run where we were a little too loose. But outside of that, I want to say that it's probably us and the 99 that were probably the fastest cars, because Chad was reading me laps from where everybody was. The 88 was real fast, especially two-thirds of a run. Then it seemed like his car would fall off at the end. But we had a very, very competitive car, and I think the story from us restarting in 14th with 80 to go and being in second or third, I guess, right there when those guys started pitting, says a lot about the type of car we had. I'm not sure if we led the most laps, but I know we led a ton at the beginning of the race. We had a very, very competitive car.
So we get the most laps? Yes, you did. Thank you. Yeah, we had a great car. I was real happy with the whole Lowe's team. Everybody really stepped up, and I think that this race, if I hadn't botched it up, we'd have been up front all day. And it was just that one pit call got us relegated to the back. We didn't win it on fuel mileage. We could have pitted right there with say if everybody came down pit road and took 2 tires, or everybody came down pit road and took 4 tires, I think that we would have been in position to have raced for the win. So, I think it was good. It was exciting for me. I don't know about everybody else. I know I looked on TV, but it was fun for my pit box.
Bruce Martin with Sports Ticker. Jimmie, was there a point on that last lap where you figured it could run out right now and I can coast to the win?
I was watching my fuel pressure gauge, and usually when it bobbles, you get a quarter of a lap or half of a lap where you can coast at a decent speed. And with him telling me I had a 20-second lead, I figured if I ran out of gas coming off of 4, I'd be okay. When I went into 3, I still had great fuel pressure, and came off of 4, and I was still looking at it, and I'm like, heck yeah, it's a done deal. So, again, we don't really, or we've had fuel mileage bite us a couple times, and it wasn't like we were trying to stretch it. Just something went on that run where we consumed more fuel. So for Chad to say, hey, let's give it a shot, I knew it was going to be right there.
And I don't know where you were when Earnhardt was battling Mark Martin and Martin Truex and those guys, but was there a period there where you thought he could be the guy that could end up winning the race?
Which one, Mark? Earnhardt? He led a bunch today. It seemed 87 laps. I really, when we were back restarting 14th and I saw the 88 up front, I thought this could be the race for him. Those guys have been all around it, been very fast, and had a great car today. I know they had some issues yesterday that they were trying to work through, and earlier in the race today I saw him in the mirror coming, and I knew he was going to be a factor. So happy for their performance. I don't know where they ended up in the end, but 7th. He's going to be pulling into victory lane soon. Those guys have been doing a great job.
Any further questions for Chad or Jimmie? Anybody else? couple more. Let's go Claire, then back up to you, Bruce.
Jimmie, in Victory Lane, they mentioned that you kicked off the weekend with your foundation and then ended up in Victory Lane. There's a little bit of karma there. With your foundation having kicked it off on Thursday night, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it was cool. I wanted to do a burnout down there on the back stretch and try to get some smoke going for a cool photo of the car and stuff near my banners on the back stretch, but I ran out of gas and couldn't do it. So it really, I have to thank PIR for giving me the opportunity. Brian Sperber and the whole staff came to us with that idea, and it was just a great way to get exposure for the foundation. We brought in a bunch of kids and let them enjoy the races and their families. So it didn't raise a lot of money that we could distribute, but it brought great recognition to the foundation, and we were able to have some local kids. Really, actually, more than local kids. We had local kids plus kids from Florida, a couple other areas come in and enjoy the weekend.
Bruce Martin again. In 2 weeks, you go to Talladega. Is it going to be strange to go there and not see it be a sea of red for Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Now it's probably going to be a sea of green or blue or whatever color that AMP car is going to be. Is it going to be strange to go there and not see all those red-clad Earnhardt fans?
I can tell you it's been an interesting year because at first the Earnhardt Nation didn't really make any noise at driver intros. Now I find them kind of cheering for me, and I'll see guys decked out in all 88, wishing me good luck, where before, they're wishing me other things and throwing beer cans at me and stuff. So there's still a few diehards that refuse to, I think, be a fan of Hendrick or myself or Jeff, but as a whole, there's some respect there, which is good to see, and we'll save, if we have a clean race car, it'll save hopefully some beer can dents when the race is all over with.
Go ahead, Michael.
Michael Knight, Arizona Republic for Chad. Dale Jr. Thanked you and the 48 crew afterwards. Said he didn't practice well and got some setup information and help. Could you just give us a sense of how that came down, and was that stuff that he was able to use or you shared with before the final practice, or was that today?
He must have stolen it from us. I don't know where the hell he got it. No, we do a very, very good job at Hendrick Motorsports of exchanging information. We have a team debrief. We have a competition meeting every 2 weeks at Hendrick Motorsports with the crew chiefs, with the competition directors, with the department heads, the chassis and aero department, so on and so forth, and we communicate there. And then once we get to the racetrack, our line of communication is extremely free. They're able to look at everything that we're doing, and dig in as deep as what they want, and use it, don't use it, whatever they want. And then after every happy hour practice session, all of the crew chiefs and all of the drivers and the competition directors get together in a centralized location, and we discuss what it was that we went through throughout both practice sessions, both race practice sessions. And the one thing that I have actually been very, very impressed with Tony Uri Jr. is the fact that he is very, very receptive to information. He uses tools. He does not sit stagnant and wait for the information to come to him. He goes in and he digs and he tries to find it. And I've been very impressed with that, and it's refreshing to see. It's nice to see another crew chief come to Hendrick Motorsports with that kind of ambition and that kind of desire to run up front.
Anything else for Chad or Jimmie? I think they've covered it well. Congratulations. Enjoy the victory.
Thank you.
Safe travels.